live, everybody. Watch what you say.
Hi, JT.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hi there.
The audience is like,
Looks like everybody's here.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going to be here right now. I thought you were going to be late. How you doing?
No, I went home, got a glass of milk, put a couple of these little pocket things and snarfed them down, drank the milk, and came up here.
Oh, I brought my own.
Okay, it's a little before 3. I'm going to start.
No, it's
early
after.
today.
After 3.
It's after 3.
3:02.
That ain't what it says up
I
there.
know, it's after 2.
That's for overtime.
Oh,
That says it's
11:15.
11. No, that says it's 11:17.
oh, is that what it says? I thought it was 5 to 3.
No, it's 3:03.
Okay. All right, so it's, welcome to the meeting, July 11th meeting. It's 3:03 PM. We'll start the Gateway Stoneybrook Advisory Committee meeting. In attendance is everyone but Virginia Stacy, so we have 6 people here. And real quick, another roll call. Approval of minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from
May.
May? Yeah, it's been a while. Has been a while. In fact, what happened is, we got this minutes real late. I didn't even have the May minutes for the June meeting at Stoneybrook to present. But in any case, I didn't see anything, so if nobody has any changes or adds to it, I'd like to hear a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Anybody
I'll
else?
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, minutes are approved. Road stripping quote, McShay Contractors, and I don't know if anybody's in there listening. Is Mike available?
Mike might be down in our community.
No, Mike just
Mike's here.
Oh, is he?
Mike's here?
Mike Dish?
Yeah.
You want me to go then?
Yeah, I think so, because I have some questions for him on what he's got proposed here. They printed on both sides of the paper, and I gotta tell you, I'm not real fond of that. Find that confusing.
What are these striping, Joe?
Redoing the lines on all the intersections, both the crosswalks and on the side streets, as well as the main drag. And we got a couple places we gotta make sure they do down our way. Because I didn't see the one across Gateway at the end there. I'm not gonna do it over to the other side on your street over there, because there's no sidewalk over there. So why have stripes over there across it? Hey, Mike.
We're just second-class citizens.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, that's it. Yeah, you got those houses attached like that, that's.
Watch your
Mike,
tongue.
we got a question for you. I looked over the proposal for the striping, and I know we've got painted and we've got thermoplastic. There was a point in time I was thinking about just suggesting just doing the thermoplastic on the main road and the painting on the side roads, but I don't see that really broken down that way. But you know what? I'm actually thinking about mentioning to the committee here, just go maybe with the thermoplastic and go that direction.
But then you don't have to worry
I
about
agree.
repainting it in 3 years, and then 3 years after that, and you would recoup, the cost is already.
In theory, and I get it. I did not see on the proposal, and it's kind of been rushed, so I haven't really had a chance. Once before, you had showed me a map, and I pointed out that you might have missed a couple of spots. And this $9,500 estimate is a little bit lacking in where you're going. So when I looked at the painted list here, I don't see one across Greenstone.
Well, these are two different bids.
I know, but my point is, since he's not itemized on the plastic, should I assume that the ones that are listed on the painted are the same ones?
I sent them both the same maps, with all the
but-
crosswalks that had to be done.
Okay, I don't see one on Greenstone, crossing Greenstone, or down at the end of Pebblebrook by Greenstone and Stone Valley. And we talked about this because you said, well, there's no crosswalk sign there, or crossover, the signs don't exist, but it is at the end of the street, and that is a crosswalk, and there are sidewalks on both sides of Pebblebrook.
I think we removed
One.
one. We
This-
removed one.
The crosswalk to nowhere.
On Stone,
Right.
yeah, to nowhere on Stone Valley side, sorry, guys. And,
We're not offended.
but to get the one across Greenstone.
They would do that. That one was
That
included.
was included. What about on Bluestone?
This is just a reminder everyone to turn off their cell
Yeah, I know what
phones.
this is about.
Is that Comcast?
Yeah, it is. Hello? Sue? I'm gonna call back in 5 minutes, okay? All right, thanks. Bye. Unbelievable.
They finally showed up. Huh?
Yeah, they're late. I should get $20 credit. But remember that we talked about a stop sign at that one intersection on Bluestone, where you got the racetrack loop and then the other runs perpendicular into it? We know that it's a big deal to get a stop sign there, and hopefully we've started that process. But I'd like to have a crosswalk there, and I don't think that is on the list.
If there's not one there, it wouldn't be on the list.
I think there is one there across.
We weren't going back into the neighborhoods. We stayed on Pebblebrook.
Yeah, but I have to tell you, that spot there is probably one of the most dangerous spots in the community right now, because without a crosswalk there, the people are coming down and they're not stopping for people. They're whipping around that and not even stopping, even though it's a T. They just think they can make that right or left-hand turn, because both ends
That.
of the racetrack, when it comes to oppose each other, they do have stop signs there. But there's nothing, there's no stop sign as you enter that loop. And they think they are driving like they got the right of way, and kids are walking across there, and they're vulnerable. They really are. They're not stopping for them.
There is lines there.
There is a crosswalk there.
There's
But that
a
wasn't-
crosswalk there, and then there's two.
That wasn't
I
part of
don't-
the proposal.
But it's not on the proposal.
Right.
So we need to get that done. We need to do a crosswalk across that road right there, where it runs into it. Because there was a crosswalk there, it was missed the last time we did the crosswalks on the side streets. I need that one done.
So that would
Okay.
be an ad.
That would be an ad, I understand. And possibly, I'd like to see a stop bar there, even though we can't get a stop sign. Can't do it.
Like that.
Not until you have the stop sign.
But let's get the crosswalk there, nice and bright, and at least we'll get something that, to try to protect the kids walking across the street there, because right now, it's a dangerous spot. It really, we have a lot of complaints there. And we got a couple of people living there, who think that's a racetrack. And they think they like that oval, and they think they're on a racetrack, and they drive like it. So I need you to add that.
Okay.
There.
I guess it comes down to what you all decide to do, paint
Yeah.
or thermo, so. Because
Guys.
we have a cost for
I know.
both, so.
Have you seen the estimates on this?
Yeah.
Big discrepancy. in
Well,
the-
it's a huge difference in the
It's
quality
always
of work.
three times the cost.
Yeah.
But the effort is a lot greater, and then it lasts.
It lasts longer
Enough.
and it increases visibility. It has some elevation to it, so it increases visibility even from a distance as you're looking down the road.
How long are we getting out of thermal?
You'll get 10-plus years.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
10, I mean, you see areas where thermoplastic, I was telling, that, forget your name.
Janice.
Well,
Yeah,
these
they
last
last a very, very long
crosswalks
time.
didn't last very long.
Well, we had the flood.
That's,
That really, really
Well, the
was an
flood,
issue.
yeah.
The flood really damaged the whole situation. In fact, it even altered the road. That road is bumpier to drive on now than it used to be before the flood. Floods, actually.
Well, even though we know this is a good investment, was part of the issue previously, we didn't know where we were going to take it out of a budget? Because
That
it
is
was
a concern.
such a big
I-
amount.
I'd like to see us, if this was to be done and we were to approve it, let's just say, when would this be scheduled to be done? On one hand, I'd like to get it done early, at the beginning, around the beginning of the school year, but at the same time, I'd like to get beyond hurricane season or later in the hurricane season, just in case. After last year, I know that, speaking for myself, I'm a little concerned about flooding and what will happen. And do we really want to do this before or after or during, this season?
But
Any
if this
thoughts
is for
on
good
that?
stuff, then flooding shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
Should be a reduce, shouldn't be as much. of a
It's not going to affect the thermoplastic.
Then let's get back to the
It's
original question. When do you
plastic.
think it would be done?
I'd have to call them, but I imagine they could schedule it very quickly, within weeks.
Okay, so before the school year starts
I
then,
think
probably.
we should do it before school starts.
Okay.
I do.
What's our feeling on that? Do we have any opinions?
I say go for it.
Yeah, I'd say go for it. I think they're.
Okay, we'll find the money. There's money in it in one of the accounts we can find in.
I agree.
And I don't know that we're gonna spend all that 20,000 from we moved over for the plantings anyway, the extra money. But nevertheless, does anybody in the audience, I'm just curious, what's your feeling on the subject? We're looking at spending 10 grand here to do this in the entire community, and this is supposed to last 10 years. It should be a better look, be more visible. Any feedback? Any thoughts on that?
Is there any big difference between the thermal and the paint as far as the slickness? I know when you walk on the streets and you walk on the paint, you could kill yourself if you're not paying attention.
And-
They
and-
both pretty much comparable.
In the crosswalks, they're going to put down a material that's anti-skid.
They put
That's,
something.
that's on, the
else.
crosswalks will
Yeah.
have that, that's a special material in the thermo that they do for crosswalks, so people won't slip and fall.
That's good, yeah. The paint is treacherous. by the way.
Do we have anything in the next 5, 6, 7, 10 years that we're gonna be doing anything with our roads? Like putting any type of protection or any type of?
The roads were projected to probably need paving in about 25 years. We're 13 years, 14 years
So
into
by
it.
the time this wears off,
We'll
we'll
be
be doing
ready
our
to
roads
pave.
and.
And even if you do some sort of asphalt
Sealing.
treatment, rejuvenate or something, they would actually cover the thermoplastic
Okay.
and go over top of it.
That's
It
interesting.
wouldn't stick to the thermo anyhow.
That's interesting, just not do it at that spot.
I'll make a motion to approve the 10, well, we need to get the right numbers.
Yeah, we
too.
need to get a right number. What we can do is, let's just look at how that's broken down,
He-
because
they
it is a little
gave
bit
dollar
ambiguous.
cost per, thought he gave dollar cost per linear foot for the thermoplastic.
So if we're adding the
So we're
one,
looking at a
then-
12, that's a solid 12-inch width, is that what I'm looking at here? And this includes the yellow for,
Is there anything on the back?
Yeah, yellow solid,
that's for the turn when you first enter, is that correct?
Yes.
Stop bar, crossworks. Do you need this?
There's on the back side, Joe, if you turn it over, it breaks down all the,
Yeah, I'm not used to this back-sided paper stuff.
so that gives
Flip it
all the
over.
intersections. So crosswalk would be,
What are they, 120?
looks like it.
Crosswalks, 120?
Yeah, but what we're looking on the back side is painting, that's not,
Oh, sorry.
that's why I was going to this side
Wrong way.
to list.
Yes, you're correct.
I don't see a breakdown for the thermoplastic, I just see the gross total.
It's linear feet.
Here it is, right here.
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's,
but it's not the same as.
it doesn't give it down by location,
It'd be
like the other side does.
I
Well,
can ask them.
If we could be assured that this, it corresponds with the
Yeah,
location.
we got to put a number into the bid, not to exceed at the very least.
Yeah, not to exceed.
So that would be, how
Not to
many?
exceed 10,000? It'll be, so it'll be a few $100s more. I don't have the exact
All right.
number.
Okay. that
I can live
sounds
with
good.
10,000, not to exceed.
What did you say about side streets, though, earlier?
And you wanted to add that side street.
Well, one on Bluestone, but
Bluestone, I want to add the one on Bluestone.
you said something earlier about side streets, and wasn't quite
I'm
following.
not sure what was the context, because we were doing all the
But there's
crosswalks.
nothing else down the side streets that.
No, the only
Not
one
already
that has a
on there.
crosswalk, other than at the intersection with Pebblebrook, would be Bluestone.
Okay.
That's the only one I'm aware of, anyway. And I can't think of anything else.
Ivory Stone and Stone Tower have crossings, not crossings, but have where the sidewalk would use one of, kind of, but.
That would be new. I
It
think
would
they
be new.
exist right now. I'm willing to pass on that one right now. Because they don't quite have the same
No one's
problem.
asking for it.
I know, exactly. So we have a motion, but let's use the $10,000 number if you're making a motion.
Not to
okay?
exceed 10,000.
Yes.
You're just doing Pebble, Brook? You're not doing the side ones like on Weatherstone and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all that.
Okay.
No, that's the whole thing. We're saying it's only the intersection of where those streets meet Pebblebrook,
Okay.
okay? And the only one off of that is the one on Bluestone. That's down by the racetrack. Want to make your motion?
So you think it's gonna be,
I'll second JT's
Well, he hasn't
motion.
made it yet.
what do you think it's gonna be, $500 more to add that on,
Approximately.
Approximately,
You
yeah.
said that should come.
how about if I make it for, 10,500?
That's what, no, let's make it 10,000.
10,000, okay.
If it comes a little bit over, hold their feet to the fire. They can do it for 10.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve
And I second it.
Shia Construction to do a $10,000, or a budget, jeez, to do painting
No.
thermal pavement markings in Stoneybrook, not to exceed $10,000.
Mhm.
There you go.
Well,
And
there's paint on the stripe, on the yellow though, not thermal.
Right, the yellow is just paint, it's not
How about the
thermoplastic.
pavement markings, not to exceed $10,000? Because that's where the line, that's where they have it titled for the price.
Pavement markings,
All
total.
right.
And that includes the thermal and the paint.
Well, specify that it includes Bluestone.
yeah.
All right. I'll make a
Including the-
motion to approve McSheila Construction, contracting,
I bet McShay.
McShay. Jeez, it's been a long day. Pavements marking not to exceed $10,000, which would include the end of, make sure should we add Greenstone on that too? Because I don't.
Greenstone, he says, is
It
included.
is on there?
The one by Greenstone is there?
Should be.
Okay.
All right, and to add Bluestone, the crosswalk along Bluestone. Where's my second at?
All right, I second.
All right. You don't want to repeat it?
I said it twice,
I
three
don't see the
times.
one in Greenstone on here.
I don't either.
I don't see it on the international seal coating.
You say this the same list that McShay has, right? I don't see the one at Greenstone on here.
You know what? It would be. It would be Pebblestone and Stone Valley Loop, down at the bottom.
Yeah, Pebblestone's a different road.
I'm sorry, Pebblebrook and Stone Valley Loop.
Both
Yeah,
intersections.
okay, yeah.
Both
all right.
intersections.
So that's the Greenstone
Yeah.
one?
It's just crossbar 2,
Yeah, the other,
crosswalks 2?
Yeah.
Would that be
We got
adding
two
it?
of them.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
two intersections.
yeah. Don't forget, they loop
Right
around.
around, you'll find that we got two intersections.
Yeah, no, this is right. We just didn't get mentioned on Greenstone. Pebblestone did, Greenstone
We'll
didn't.
have a sign, new sign going up.
Well, that was because that was the crosswalk in LA.
Yeah.
So
Well-
I had him take that off.
Wait a minute, I
It
don't,
still
I
doesn't
don't see
matter.
it on there.
It still won't make a difference, because Stone Valley's gonna have one on
The
the east
bottom
side
one.
and one on the west side.
Stone
One,
Valley
two.
has two. It goes across over to Greenstone, and then the one over to Pebblestone.
It won't
All right.
parallel. So there's one there, two there, but then we're talking about right here, this one.
I'll bring in the map that
That-
I sent, and then let me show that to you.
Sure,
That'll
that might
make you
be
feel
best.
better. I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
Then the next one, it says Pebblebrook and Stone Valley.
Yeah, that's
Two and
us.
two.
Two stop
It's just that
signs.
Greenstone's not
But
mentioned.
that's the 2 and 2 is right here. That's that intersection. Do you think so?
Yeah, we should have the map.
I don't know.
I-
It looks like it might be covered, but
Skinny dog.
Pebblebrook Boulevard, Pebblestone Court.
we need to make sure, because it should say Greenstone. and-
Nah, it doesn't need to say Greenstone.
No, it doesn't, it doesn't either, you're right, you're right.
So that's 1,
Right, thanks.
1, 2. 1, 2.
But there's only one crosswalk though, at Pebblebrook and Stone Valley on that end.
3.
In the paper, it says two.
It might
Two
not-
and
I
two.
know, that's why I'm questioning it.
Well, let's see the map.
Well,
and
it
we'll
might
double check.
be crosswalk, they might be counting one side of the road being 2, 1, 2.
What you have over there is you do have Pebblestone
Is there a stop sign?
and Stone Valley are one of the rare
It's
actually
on there.
opposing roads that we have in the whole community where the two roads
on there.
come together and oppose. And it actually is a,
Yeah, but it's got two crosswalks there. There's only one.
Well, I'm sure they don't, I'm sure one crosswalk. Well, no, this road's wider too, they might charge for two because it's double lane and two. Yeah.
It would have been nice if the other appraisal would have had a breakdown.
I know, exactly. That was my concern, because you really don't have that
It's been very
information.
guesswork
And
for
that's why I
hours.
used the other side to try to determine that's probably where he's talking about.
I mean, the only other way to fix that is to have them do an itemized
Yeah.
redo
And,
this.
and unfortunately,
Right.
this one here lists locations, but it doesn't actually list the number of feet, so I can't add that up and compare it to
Right.
the other side.
But if we know we're going to go with McShay, then maybe we should just ask them
So if you
to.
look at, if you look at.
Confirm
To redo that.
Pebblebrook, Pebblestone, and Stone Valley, that's right here, that's this intersection.
Right.
Then you've got everything in black and
then
white instead of us all guessing it, trying to match up a map.
It's down here.
That's what I would
There's only
prefer.
one crosswalk there, though. They list two.
Are we, which way are we crossing? This way right here, or are we crossing this way? Are they considered?
So maybe
that?
the,
Well, they shouldn't be considered
That's
this
the one, that's the
crosswalk.
one we removed.
That's the one we took out. They should be just, there's just one there. They list two.
Yeah.
then you're gonna have to go in your motion and say upon approval of verification of this street, this street, this street.
Yeah.
I just have them type it.
We're getting really way out on a limb here, I'm afraid.
That's a lot of money. It won't take them very long to do the proper itemized statement. is what
I agree,
would do.
I agree.
It's not like we're talking, $1,000, we're talking $10,000. It just needs to be done right.
I agree, but at the same time, we meet once a month, and so we gotta get it moving, and then, let's see what this map shows. Hope we can find
If we
it.
delay it, it won't be done before school starts.
So if they do an itemized copy within a week, can we advise somebody on the board to approve that?
And that is
Not quite sure
one
about
of the things we can do, and,
Because we know where we want to go, but we want to make sure, but why would we have to call an, emergency meeting to do that? We could,
no, I don't think we should have to.
since JT made the proposal, he could be the one to look at it.
Yeah, it'd have to be a board thing.
This has gotta go before so you get 10,000, this has gotta go before the Board of Supervisors anyway, so there will be a review process.
We're just advising.
Yeah,
They approve
Okay.
it.
okay.
So then we could just make sure we get that done
If it
before that.
was a smaller
meeting.
amount, it wouldn't be that big a deal, it'd be almost automatic. He would have the authority to authorize it. Was there a map that actually showed all these locations on one map, though?
Yeah.
All right, what are we looking at here? This is Stoneybrook Gateway, this is the entrance.
That's the main one.
Yeah.
That's what we just get down to Stone.
We're not doing that one, right? That's Gateway, okay. Because believe it or not, Gary charged us for one across Gateway one time.
Well, because it was just turned over, it
Now, what happened is, he says, oh, well, the only kids that use that up there are Stony Brook kids, so, which was like bizarre. Let's see, this is, all right, so they'll do this one, got that one, okay.
There it is right there.
The one at Pebblestone.
I had
Stone
to
Valley.
take that one off, that one was removed from the list.
Okay, so we're
The
not
crosswalk
doing
to-
that
The
one.
crosswalk to nowhere gets
Yeah,
removed.
okay, and that one will
We're
be
gonna have
the-
them actually, and they're gonna take it with black paint and.
paint over
it
the
down.
existing.
When they go over, when they say
Oh, why do you
crosswalk,
want to do that? That would really be ugly.
when they say crosswalk, and they count this as, do they
I
count
would
this
agree
as
with them, don't
one?
bother about it.
I'm sorry, do they count this as one, or do they count this as two?
That's,
Where is that?
it's one crosswalk.
It is one crosswalk.
Because down here, we're talking about Pebblebrook and Stone Valley Loop, this one actually says 2.
Right, I went back and
Okay,
told them to take off.
change that, okay.
But it says, at Pebblebrook, Pebblestone, and Stone Valley, it says 3 stop bars, and there's only 2.
Yeah, right here, 1, 2.
There's only 2 stop bars, this list says 3.
Well, when you look at the aerial, there's, someone put one and there's 2 there, or.
There's only 1 at the stop sign, there's only 2 stop signs, why do you have 3 stop bars?
Well, you look at the aerial.
I see it, but does that mean that one's supposed to be there?
It's not supposed to be there.
Well, just put them at the stop sign then.
Show me what you,
Right here, this one.
See,
here.
there's an extra stop bar in there that doesn't.
Someone put that
oh,
there.
shouldn't
somewhere.
be there.
oh, yeah.
One at the stop
We
sign
have-
and another one at the street.
Yeah, there's a couple of roads here, based upon where the sidewalks are, that it became a problem. Like, if you look at where for Ivory Stone, where that street sign is, it's set so far back, you almost have to drive up to the street to be able to see it, because it's before the
You
sidewalk.
don't, we
Well, look
we
at-
shouldn't
look
put a
at- look at-
stop
look at
bar in
Stone
if there's
Valley,
no stop
Stone Tower
sign.
Loop.
Mhm.
There's none right there, but there's
That
one
was-
way back here.
That was done at some point, somebody
I
did that.
understand, but we shouldn't repeat that.
And I had a conversation with McShay about that, with the thermo, that we were just gonna do one stop bar at the stop sign and not
Well,
use a
if-
duplicate.
it looks to me like we have enough discrepancies in here
Well,
to cover
that
to cover
was-
Bluestone.
Well, I think what we need, and is that we can possibly approve the proposal based upon a contingency that we get a itemized proposal. We can see exactly what we're paying for. How does that sound?
I agree with that.
Yeah, but if it's this same list right here, we can take some of it out and move it over to Bluestone.
Oh, I agree. That's why we need to see,
Three
There's
should
an
be
extra
two.
crosswalk in here and an extra stop bar in here.
and that's why,
Because the
but that's
payment
on
is
that
too.
side. We don't know what's
Same
on,
list though.
Tom, we don't know what this estimate is based on because
Well, that's
it
true.
isn't itemized.
That's exactly right.
So that's what we need to get an
He did
itemized bill.
itemize it, he did it by linear feet.
But-
It is
That's
itemized.
not itemized.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about more like along the lines of what we got over here, if he can itemize it that way.
We wanted to verify streets, stops,
All
just
right.
like this one,
Because I don't know where those feet are. I really don't.
just what we're looking for.
They went out and measured them.
If they
We're
measure the
looking
right
for
spots.
location.
Okay. I'll ask you to
Okay.
do it by streets.
Yeah, if you could. How many, let's put it this way, how many stop bars and how many things at the various streets that we're talking about? I think, and
The only way you'd be able to break that down is to find out how
so,
many feet
would
the
you
stop
just
bar is.
amend what you just said and add, I know you said a lot, but with not to exceed 10,000 and with an acceptable,
Itemized breakdown.
yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve McShay Contracting,
The third, second.
All right, don't-
to approve McShay Contracting for pavement markings not to exceed $10,000 by McShay giving us an itemized breakdown of street and location of job being performed
that we will approve.
that we will approve,
Plus Bluestone.
and including Bluestone on the invoice.
Okay.
Second.
And when you want this by?
How soon can we possibly? It's a wordy thing, I know, and unfortunately Diane's not here. We gotta wait for them to translate it over at the,
I mean, just getting with a contractor and getting him back out there to, you know, I don't know how he did his, they went
Well
out there and
done,
wheeled it off.
JT.
Now they're gonna have to go back out there and do
well, you
each
know what?
intersection,
I gotta
so.
tell you something, just give me a number of linear feet. I don't know where those feet are. That-
Yeah, that's
that
not
For $10,000, I should get some kind of itemization where those feet are going. And, you know,
When we do,
I'm
when you
afraid,
do roadway projects, it's.
I
They
understand
just go out
that.
there with a wheel and wheel it and.
but I get it, but you know
We
what,
have
they
to
could.
verify the location. We
Understood.
have to.
Even if we assume that the feet are right, tell me where they are. I don't even need itemized by location. Tell me the locations they actually measured. So I can say, hey, you know, that's one more stop bar than I need. That's one more crosswalk than I need. Let's get the, and I do need one over here that's not itemized. I understand to do this, but, you know, in theory, they can come in and put one big giant crosswalk down the middle of the road, and then it would cover the footage. I just need to know where it's going. And I think everybody would agree with that. So all in favor of that? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, just to also close that up, the motion was made by J.T. Thomas and seconded by
Dick Zakowski.
Dick Zukowski, did the second, okay, for the minutes. Anybody else have any comment on that? All right, so that's a done deal there. We're gonna do that. And if I can get an itemized thing on that, I can give you a call and say, yeah, this is acceptable.
You don't need it?
Yeah, hang on to it. That's a good idea, as president, hang on to that. We can show that at the board meeting. Hey, Mike, if I have any questions later about the flowway across the FBL property and what the plan for that is, do you need to be here, or can Chris come in?
Chris.
Okay.
He's got an idea of when we're putting that together.
Do me a favor, just let him know that when he's got a free moment to stop in, okay? Thank you. All right, so the strip, we approved it with contingencies. And we are not doing the painting. Okay, I have a couple of things that are not on the agenda, but I do have a list of things I want to talk about and bring up. And I'll wait for Chris to come in for some of this on the drainage across on the Weir and the FPL property. But a couple of us, I don't know if anybody else besides you, JT, we got a question today about electricity and about the electricity, who was paying for it, responsible, and who owned the traffic light out on
Our attorney
82.
got it too. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. So, in any case, it kind of got me going, because this is a sore point that I had brought up years ago about a utility meter out on Gateway Boulevard getting toward 82 that was sitting out there. And I had talked to someone named Jesse, and I don't know how many of you remember Jesse from back here. And he told me, oh, that meter's for the controller for the, whatchamacallit, the...
Monument.
No, it was for the controller for irrigation,
Oh.
all through along 82 and around in the ball field. Well, I did ask at that time, because if you remember, some of us who are here, been here long enough, the sign out on 82 used to say Stoneybrook at Gateway. Well, that sign needed some significant repair, and I said to them, you know what, we're not paying for that. That's on a property that had been assigned to Gateway, and this is the Board of Supervisors, and if you have a problem with that, get Stoneybrook's name off of it, and they did. And it says Gateway now. But they're responsible, that's on property actually owned by them. But I always wondered, where's that electricity coming from? And there are some silver boxes out there in the left field on the ball field. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that. That's CenturyLink. And that was placed on a 3-acre parcel that Lennar didn't turn over to us until several years later, because that was our left field for part of the ball field. They were going to make that a commercial site and didn't tell us. A turnover, I'm sure you didn't know anything about that. And that's why they put CenturyLink was put out there, because it was on the backside of that property for connections and whatever. And I'm thinking that we're probably supplying them with electricity also at no cost. Got to look into that. We really need to do and check invoices. We may not be paying for electricity for the light. I don't know. Diane has mentioned that we probably shouldn't be. But I don't know who's paying and how they meter it, unless they got their own meter. In any case, it kind of got me going because of some bad taste in our mouth about that whole thing. For those of you that don't know, we found out about that property being quitclaimed over to us by Lennar without telling us when we got a tax deficiency notice because of a tax lien that had been placed on the property, and it was now ours, and we didn't even know about it. And it was just really, really sleazy. In any case, the property tax had come down, and the reality is, as part of the common area or common element for Stoneybrook, as an HOA, there would have been no taxes on it at all. But they were taxing it as a piece of commercial property. One of those little
So has that been fixed?
yeah, that was fixed some years ago, in fact.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
we
remember.
did, and that was part of the lawsuit with Lennar. In any case, I got a couple of things for Chris when he comes in. We pay for irrigation. We pay to maintain the property 1 mile of frontage on 82, which is effectively the northeast side of all of Gateway. And the burden and the cost of that falls upon us. And we've always had a problem with that and how to deal with it. Because we're paying Gateway for water to water the northeast corner or edge of all of Gateway. And we should be getting a break for that, because we're maintaining, and this property out there costs us about $75,000 a year to maintain. I just want to make you all understand that.
Okay.
And for between the landscaping and the water, and now that property's being impacted by the road work out there. And we need to take a look at that. And there has been discussion in past years, but it didn't happen, of maybe signing that property over to Gateway and just letting them have it, let them maintain it. But we'll just throw that around.
So who do we ask and what's the process?
It's a long process, and that's
Okay.
going to get the attorneys involved, and I know that Tony would get involved with the attorney for the district.
And this is all 82 property and
That's
irrigation?
it's frontage, it's part of our B1 tract that where we front, which is the perimeter of the property that we front on Gateway. And I have ridden around Gateway. Hampton Park is going to be stuck with the same situation. They probably know nothing about it yet. They'll get the bills and wonder about what's going on. And it's just a fact that the burden falls upon us to maintain the appearance of Gateway for all of the community, and we're paying for it in Stoneybrook. And it's a sore subject right now because the subject of increasing the cost to Stoneybrook for management fees in this community has been brought up at the Board of Supervisors. And that's another sore point, because we already pay some management fees to them, and we pay the same boat as everybody else does. And the fact is that many communities in Gateway do not have a clubhouse. They come up here and have the meetings just like we do right now. And they use this facility and the staff and everything, and we pay additional for that because we have the 004 budget and the separate issue of road ownership. But nevertheless, these are things down the road that we're going to be stirring up about, especially if changes occur at the Board of Supervisors.
Do we have a breakdown of that expense of how much it cost us on top of having the meetings here?
It's in the budget. In fact, if you look at your budget that you approved, you'll see there is a maintenance or a management fee.
That was on May 9th, right? That's when I left out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get
Well, it's in the
my
copy.
glance.
You can ask her for a copy
Okay.
of that. And I wanted to see Al here too. So we're at a standstill right now. Got some questions. I'll tell you, while we got, you guys are here for a reason. You must have a question for us. What's going on? What do you got?
Oh, we're here just to watch what's going on.
Oh, yeah?
But we do have a few questions.
I figured that was the case.
By the by.
Yeah, so come on up. All right, are you?
We had one reason,
Hang on one second. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, Mike, come on.
Real quick question for clarification, the sidewalk to nowhere, you don't want that blacked out?
No, I tell you what, he's right. It would be black stripes and it might be ugly. Let's just let that thing fade
Fade
away.
away.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
This paint's going to be
We'll
so
save,
green.
we'll save him a couple of bucks. How's that? Tell him to knock a couple $100 off the bill, that's all.
Yeah, I agree. We need to see some
Yeah, good point.
We had a couple questions.
Could you just identify just for the facility?
Okay,
Because there's
Warren
nobody
Davies,
here. Yeah.
Stoneybrook, Stone Valley Loop. In case people don't know where that's at, it's all the way to the back end of
Yeah,
Stoneybrook.
keep in mind, the people who are making the minutes are
Yeah.
actually the management company. They don't know
Yeah.
who we are.
One of the first things we had, it was signs. And we had done a little research on the signs, and the sign coming from Pebblestone onto Pebblebrook, stop sign was white. It was white for a long time. Now, I know it's been changed. It was changed yesterday afternoon. For some reason, I know it was reported 3 weeks ago. I don't know, any time before that. The stop sign across the street from that was the same way, and they replaced that one yesterday. And the one out the other side of our loop, out the, either what, east side or east side, is starting to turn white. And we can live with that, except the fact that when it turns totally white, now to me, you come into a liability issue. If you can't read stop on it, some people don't make no attempt. So, and then there was a sign there for the crosswalk. Now, that sign was missing for a long time, and to my knowledge, no one reported it to anybody.
Actually, they have it here.
Well,
We're aware of
that's
it
fine,
now.
yeah, but
I'm not sure
in my
why it hasn't
checking,
been
yeah,
replaced,
but
yeah.
again, my problem is, why does it take so long to put a sign up?
I
To
wish.
change a sign?
I wish you had asked that question when Mike was here.
Well, I can ask Mike anytime, I see Mike a lot.
Okay.
But it still comes down, someone has to say, we need to have something set aside. Because when one of those stop signs go down, and you can't reuse it, you can't go 3 or 4 weeks without putting a stop sign up. Because then you do run into a liability issue. But since they've been replaced, that's not a problem. I think it's something we need to think about, and perhaps our advisory committee needs to recommend perhaps we have signs available to do that. I was gonna touch on the stop sign for Bluestone. If you drive around Fort Myers and Florida enough, you find out that that's the normal setup. Down those access roads, you go to the shopping centers, always the road coming in off the main road don't have a stop sign.
Usually, there are exceptions. but
Yeah, the only
usually.
exception right in this area right now is over by where BJ's is. And they just put those signs up within the last 6 months. But most of the time, it's not. Now, if you're gonna put a sign there, then we need to put another stop sign at Greenstone, Stone Valley Loop, and Pebblestone.
Greenstone doesn't have one for a reason that Leonard decided a long time ago.
But it's
I
still,
put that up.
it's still the same thing, because we've had crashes there.
There's
And we've
nowhere
had
to
near
put
crashes
this, there's
here.
nowhere to put the stop sign
Huh?
on Greenstone. There's nowhere to put the stop sign.
Sure,
on
it is right
Greenstone.
there. But again, and I don't argue, because most of us that live there have adjusted
Yeah.
to that point that you gotta stop at that crossroad, because people coming from Greenstone aren't very good drivers. When they got their phone in their ear and they're cutting that corner, and that's how the crash happened down there,
I
that
recall.
we had a problem with. So, but that was just, that's just something we can discuss. Road striping, lake restoration. At the board meeting, our board meeting, one of the directors mentioned that the space at the end of Ivory Stone, where they took the bushes out and put the grass in, that was going to come to this committee to make a decision as to what they want to do with that, because that is not per contract. The contract had it going back to the way it was before those bushes come out. She mentioned that there was 3 options, and that's why, one reason why we come, was we're interested in what's the option going to be, but it's not even on the agenda. And, it's curious to me as to why we allowed them to just put grass in that spot at Ivory Stone.
That's, yeah, I am. That's, I know Margaret's been out there. I don't know, have you been out there with them?
You really want to do
Well,
Yeah, because that's an issue.
it is an issue. A lot of people have been complaining about
right
it.
behind
I
you.
can address that when I get up there.
Well, okay, and it's not a problem
Yeah,
that it's that,
we've been
but,
working on that. It's an issue.
but it's a problem is what way you're gonna go, and knowing that they've been out there a bunch of times looking at different things and making punch lists and all that stuff. My concern comes down to who's paying for it. No matter which way, there's 3 different ways to go.
The contractor is gonna, the contractor that they hired to do the lake is gonna pay
And
for
was
it?
there ever a change order made to change it from the contract?
No?
So the contractor would still be liable for that
And-
unless
and-
someone told him not to do it that way.
And we might be using that property again for the Comcast now.
Well, whatever.
And that's a whole
yeah.
different, that's a
Yeah.
whole different ballgame now.
But we need to get that, because I know a lot of people are concerned about that, upset about it,
Well,
really,
yeah, they
because
had
it
all
looks
that
like
Mexican
hell.
petunias. They went through it, and now they have sod.
Yeah, well, they took one set of sod out, they put new sod in.
There's,
Go ahead.
we talked about this, and Mexican petunias should be coming back. We talked to people on Jewelstone. They want that barrier because it gave them privacy.
To the sidewalk.
The privacy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we have talked about that.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, the impression I got from our board meeting was that the decision would be made today by the board, but then when I pulled up the agenda, it wasn't even on the agenda.
We can't make a decision.
Well, you can make a recommendation to the
That's
board.
something that Margaret, Kathy.
Well, Margaret was
Al,
throwing it right into this group to make a recommendation to the supervisors.
Okay.
The 3 options were leave it the way it was, take it back the way it is, or leave it the way it is, take it back the way it was, or take out that other little small group of bushes and grass that in.
Yep.
And that's what we were kind of concerned about, was what way you were gonna go. Personally, I don't care. My concern more comes down to who's paying for it, who made the decision to allow them just to put grass in. Someone had to make a decision to do
That
that.
wouldn't have been anything on HOA.
Well, I know it wasn't,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So that's our
Or the
concern.
CDD was the contractor, that's why he's putting his own money in fixing it.
Okay.
I assume, right? Yeah.
Okay, that's that.
You are putting the plants back.
Yes, yes, like I said, I
We
will
can tell
address
our-
that when we
Yeah.
get up there.
Okay, very good. Landscaping, Mainscapes is probably the worst landscaper I've ever seen. I don't think they ever sharpen their blades. Last week, you could see it was high, then it was low, then it was high, then it was low. They put the sod down in that one area, and when we were out there, we cautioned people to be careful when you walk across it because there's little chuck holes you can trip in. There's still an area by the one light pole where they took some bushes out. No one's done anything to it. Right now, Mainscapes is cleaning their lawnmowers in there, putting the dead grass in that particular spot.
Where location is this?
Huh?
What location is this?
Stone Valley Loop, by the lake there, that surrounds us.
Right towards the last villa there.
Yeah.
There's bushes and a tree that had come
Yeah.
down.
They took the bush, they
It's a
took the
big
bushes.
Open empty area, and now
Yeah.
it's just full of dead grass. from-
Yeah, and they left a big chuck hole and,
side of the roof or?
It's on, yeah, the walking path.
yeah.
Yeah, the walking-
Florida Power and Light come out and put the light pole back up, and when they did, they threw some mulch down to cover it. Well, the rains come, the winds come, the mulch is gone, and it still
Right in there.
looks like heck. So that's some of the stuff there. I think that they have already renewed the contract with Mainscapes, I don't know. We argued, we questioned that before with some people who were looking at that, but apparently they didn't do that.
But that's maintained by Gateway Services, that
Yes,
area.
yes, but
But we.
this is our
Okay.
latest on to Gateway
For Gateway
Services.
Services.
Last thing I have is in looking at the budget, proposed budget, I question why we are paying more than Pelican Preserve. Now, I'm not talking about the money we pay for other stuff, but just the part that everybody pays. We're paying more than Pelican.
And I wish Joe was here, because that's his.
And my understanding in talking to a couple of supervisors is because they have their own pool, they have all the stuff, all the money they have, it doesn't go to any of the recreation stuff here at Gateway. If that's the case, why isn't that applied to us also? So, and with that, I'll take questions. Thank you.
Go get Joe.
Yeah, he's gonna come back in. I know he had to get this. I know that was an important, phone call, but I know Joe, that's his that hot subject on this.
Okay, yeah,
Pelican
it may
Reserve.
be, I never realized it until I got looking at the numbers since everything's going up and we're getting 28% increase.
And not to
on
mention,
stuff.
they use this facility like it's their own little,
Oh, yeah, a lot of
Like it's-
places do, and it's a concern for a lot of people with all the computer stuff here, that people coming in and out of here is because I don't believe anybody from Gateway Services stays
when they're doing their thing.
when they're
I
having a
don't
meeting
know.
here. They don't.
Do they have access, the people from Pelican Reserve, to this building?
They have to get the key from the office somewhere. You have
They
to
do?
reserve it, yeah. They may have a key, but as much as some of those people are. So, okay.
Warren, can I mention, I do agree with you on the signs. I think, we were all shocked at how long it took, but Mike can tell you the whole story, and the story just got longer and longer and longer.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. I think maybe somehow this committee or our HOA needs to approve that we need to have an emergency backup, at least
Right.
one stop sign. It should never take 3 weeks to have that, or we've
Or-
got to have a
and I'm not sure when it
temporary
was
sign that's
reported.
approved.
Well, the other thing that really kind of bothers me is with the amount of traffic, amount of times that we see Gateway Services trucks driving through our area, why aren't they reporting these things? Same way with Mainscapes. There's a lot of things out there that are happening that they could report. Now, they can't do anything about it without doing something, but again, they know where the irrigation problems are, and they try to fix them. They know where the landscaping problems are, but no one reports to anybody. Nobody is following up to see what's going on. No one goes out to check, how's the grass doing? How's this doing? How's that doing? I know Elle and Kathy usually make a trip around once a month, once a week, whatever, looking at different things. But again, it needs to be the people that are going to get it done. They can make the report, but it needs to go to these people and say, we have a lot of talented people working here. And like I was telling Jerry, I question if they know how to supervise or how to follow up on when they have somebody doing something. And that's part of being a supervisor. That's part of being a manager and stuff, is when you give someone something to do. Now, like I'll go back to the landscaping with the sod they put down. I don't know who put it down. Someone said that Mainscapes, they just threw it right on top of the other stuff.
Right.
It's amazing that it even caught on. But
She
again, nobody
said-
went out.
You brought that up the last time you
Yeah.
were here. She said that was not Mainscape, it was.
Well, but someone,
But
yeah,
it was still a
but
mess.
someone had to sign off on that invoice saying that's okay.
It was still a mess, yeah.
And when someone puts their John Henry on that invoice to pay it, they're saying what you did was okay, and it wasn't, and they don't know that. So that's something I think that, need to touch bases on.
I'm gonna have Elle come back in, but
Yeah.
when Joe comes back in, I want you to come back up and mention the Pelican Preserve, because
Here we go.
here he is right here.
Yes.
Just because he's gonna be able to answer that a lot better than I can.
I'm gonna sit down.
Yeah, go ahead.
What was the question that I can answer a little better?
You wanna go ahead and mention it, Warren?
Why Pelican Preserve doesn't pay as much as we do for basic gateway services?
That is something is a sore subject for me. They have made the claim in the past, and some of that had to do with having control of the Board of Supervisors, and it had to do with they made a decision that they didn't have direct access to Gateway Boulevard, and therefore they weren't full-time Gateway, I guess, residents and shouldn't have to pay for the maintenance of all the Gateway facilities. And I'd like to see that be reevaluated, just like you.
Well, yeah, I think that's kind of wrong, because
Well, that's your opinion, and I'm inclined to agree, and the fact of the matter is that here we have some people think we're not paying enough. In fact, nobody pays more to Gateway than Stoneybrook residents do.
And if you read the minutes, and I've read all the minutes for this year, no one gets more attention than Pelican. No one gets more little odds and ends besides Pelican and Gateway Greens. Those are the only two that seem to be getting a lot.
And Pelican, and hopefully Pelican, that'll be changing in the not-too-distant future, because it's been going on forever. And I agree, and it's not as bad as it used to be. I mean, there's a 3-5 minute limit supposedly when you stand at the podium, but the fact is, in the past, there'd be people from Pelican stand up there for an hour or two and talk about something, and
That's been a bone of your contention, Joe, with that
Forever.
for years.
I know.
Oh, yeah,
It has
I
been.
agree. And
Yeah.
maybe now's the time.
Yeah.
And the scary thing is what, of course, if you read the Gateway Sun, you have to start getting concerned of what may happen next year as people leave or people get voted on.
that's something I'd be more than happy to talk about, but not with the microphone on. Okay?
That's gonna be in the minutes,
What's that?
what you just said.
That's okay. Because I feel that's justified and rational. Yes.
Last time when we were here, and remember they had chopped down all those trees on the lake beds.
Okay.
With the stumps?
And they were supposed to come and cut the stumps as soon as dry season came. Well, dry season came and went, and the stumps were never touched.
They did
Well-
part of them.
Is that?
They did part of them. They didn't do all of them.
They didn't do any of them.
I asked the same, I asked Al.
I apologize, but that phone call was important. And the guy got here late, got to my house late. It was one of those
There's
things.
still been a little just a stepchild.
Yeah, let's get Elle out on that one, and
And we were told.
I have a vested interest over there now on the loop, so it's kind of working for you.
Yeah, but are they still supposed to take the rest of those stumps out?
They can't do it now.
Well, let me say this.
They are.
The lake restoration's going back out to bid, and Kathy can talk about that. And the fact is, the next lake to be done in Stoneybrook is that lake.
Is it
Yes.
really?
Yeah,
That's the next one that's supposed to be done,
Yeah.
actually.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, there's that.
That's why it's gonna be a shame if they
So-
fix everything and then they're gonna bring all their
I
equipment
don't
back
know,
in.
sorry about that,
Right?
it's something that,
Yeah.
No problem,
Called
no
an
problem.
exact bad
I
time.
just had, that's good.
real
As long
quick
as I have
question.
somebody come and get me.
Yep, no problem, I appreciate that. Real quick, Warren had a question, just want to address that before we even get into the other subject.
Okay.
And that is that on the flush cutting of the stumps, I still hear that not all of them were truly flush cut. Now,
Not-
right now, it's tough because the water's so darn high, but,
Yeah, and again, yeah, there's a few of them that are still in a couple of the ponds, that I'll have to get again when the water goes back down.
okay.
I was more concerned, well, I knew the one pond was being restored, so we didn't go in there. And in the other ones, I did get the maple tree on the side of the bank. I was more concerned about getting those out of the landscaping so we could come back and get sod. and-
Gotcha.
It's still there,
What?
the maple tree. You didn't move the maple tree.
I didn't move any maple trees,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I
One
thought
that was
there
pushed
was a
over and cut
stump,
off, and
yeah.
the stump was left, yeah.
Okay, I'll go double check that. but
Well, it's
I
under,
know that was.
well, you probably can't get to it now, but remember last time I talked to you, there was a tree growing out of it now.
Right, oh, it was growing back in.
Well,
So,
there's a tree, the stump is still there, and
okay.
there's a tree growing out of it.
Well, because I know I specifically had that on the list, and I really didn't notice that it was still there, sorry.
Somebody's got a tree laying down in their backyard.
It's picked back up.
In any case, let's go over what has been done and what you're proposing, okay?
I think you picked it back up.
Well, this right here, first of all, the large proposal to repair the sod, the cul-de-sacs that were damaged, that did get to the Board of Supervisors last week, has been approved.
Okay.
Tuesday, I'll be out to remeasure the areas for the sod to make sure, because what we do is we'll come back out and I'll come out with paint. You'll see me out there with
Okay.
painting so that we make sure they get the sod in the right places and at the right quantities.
Which is exactly, because I was wondering how we were gonna come back and know that what we're getting charged for and what we actually need now correspond.
Right, right, and that's the reason I knew I would have to come back out and,
Okay.
and paint the areas.
This
I
is the-
measured them to begin with, I measured them initially, but when we get ready to actually go in with it, we'll go out and we'll paint the areas so that we make sure that they get a good cut in, they get the sod where we wanted it to begin with.
Okay.
Is this gonna affect any of our overlay for the fiber optics that Comcast is now starting to cut up our?
Probably.
I mean, should we even?
I had no
I know,
idea
but
they were coming in.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I
it's
have
a-
to tell you right now,
But Comcast has to put everything back over.
yeah, Comcast and what you're doing and what Comcast does are two different things. And-
Right, it is, and I had no idea they were coming
And
in
they'll
there to
be,
do
yeah, well, we've been
anything.
working on this for a very long time, and
So-
some of that's beyond our control, but maybe I actually gave them the number here and information. I told them they should be notifying Gateway, and apparently they didn't do it, so,
Apparently not,
Yeah.
but, again, maybe they did.
yeah.
I don't
And it
know.
didn't make
Maybe.
it to you. That's
That's
possible,
correct.
too.
Maybe they did, and I just didn't know it. So,
Okay.
not a major deal. We will
No,
work
well,
around it and make it work out.
I don't see it
however.
being a problem, other than they don't break our water every now and then or something like that.
Right. As for the sod at the end of Lake number 60,
Okay,
the one that had the bank restoration.
yeah.
That is, the sod's coming out, and the Mexican petunias are going back in, and it's not coming out of the 04 budget. Just wanted you to know what the update was on that.
All right, very good.
It
I'm
has
fine.
been approved, it has been sent to Mainscape, and as soon as we get all of these other.
When was the last time you were over there?
Today.
Okay, did you see the big reels of fiber optic cable
Yeah.
running? Okay, because that's right about where that is, or just on the other side of it. So I would say if that could be the last thing we do, we give them a chance to get done, because that will be done in a little over a week. This-
Okay.
That step of it, okay?
Comcast,
Yeah.
okay. All right,
All right.
but, yeah, that's the ultimate fix to that area. We did, it was tossed around to either remove the ones under the light pole and sod that, but as Kathy said, there are residents on the back side of that that felt like they had given them a little bit of privacy from the road.
Mhm.
You know, they could be out in their backyard.
Understood. And
And
there's been both sides, but I'm okay with
Should we
that.
bring up the 12500 house that has no barrier where they were?
Well, that would be part of the new plantings, I think.
Okay.
Right now, this subject is specifically to repair that we know that was damaged by the storm.
What-
There's a home on Ivory Stone that has some issues where, I don't want to get into it right now, but it has with neighbor issues going on right now. And they are a little concerned about visibility into their backyard, because where there used to be shrubs, apparently there aren't now. And this is 12500 Ivory Stone, two-story on that corner. Apparently, you can look right into their backyard, and
They just made a complaint to the board one day.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone else has shrubs by the sidewalk, and half their
It's-
yard has been opened up, and it was never really.
That's because that's a common area.
No, not there. It's between, they're backed up between two houses.
yeah, they actually, they're on the corner. So the side of their house faces Pebblebrook, and
back
some
of
of
their house is
that
on Ivory Stone.
backyard right now has been opened up from loss of shrubbery.
They're behind Ivory Stone, there's a common area that landscape comes and mows.
That's correct.
Right.
You're
so-
talking,
So they have to have access to that common area from Pebble.
yeah, no, well, that's correct, but I don't think that's where they're talking about, though.
Okay.
I'll
Okay,
come
you have to
check
take a
it
look
out.
at yeah.
Is it something that we would do, or,
Well, yeah, it's not their property, it's common property. It's a toss-up because of the property lines, how it runs between you and us
Yes,
running down
okay.
is a little fuzzy.
all right,
But it's around there.
okay, I will check it out and see.
They back up, their house backs up to Stone Tower. Is that a common area?
No, you're thinking of
You're
between
thinking
Stone
Stone
Valley
Valley
and
and
Ivory
Stone- and
Stone,
Stone.
which is on the other side of Ivory
There's a
Stone.
common area between Stone Tower.
There is common area there, but it has nothing to do with them.
Right, but I'm just saying, they have to have access from Pebblebrook.
Yeah, no, but I think that what we're looking at here is not that, it's something else. In any case, go ahead, I'm sorry, continue.
Well, I gave to you today a little memo with some enhancements. These are not repairs, these are enhancements, remove, replace, or add some more to it to fill out a bed. You'll notice there's, on the back side, there are two, number 16 and 17, that have no quantities. That is because those two beds happen to be under warranty by Mainscape, so those will be replaced for us at no charge. But rather than go back in there with blacks, we thought that it'd be nice to add a little bit of color where we could, and use some yellow Exoras instead of the blacks. Also, number 18, excuse me?
We're just agreeing with you.
Number 18 at Crooked Creek, at the intersection of Crooked Creek and Pebblestone, Pebblebrook, pardon me, I apologize. There was an area where we thought we might do some enhancements, and we were looking at the street light there. It's buried in an oak tree.
You know, I wouldn't mind seeing some serious branches taken off that.
Well,
oak tree.
no, it's not serious branch taken off. If we clear that, if we cut that oak tree for the street light, it's gonna be half of a tree. So we've got a decision to make. You either move the street light or we take the tree out, whichever
try-
one you would like to do.
Boy, moving streetlights is something we have some experience in, and that's not a happy thing to do.
I know
Okay,
which
so
one, I
we-
know which
you-
one you're talking about. There's a lot of trees over there too, isn't there?
Well, no, no, not really. I was gonna say now, the only thing is because there's a home that sits right there. As soon as we take that tree out, their second-story window's gonna be full view. So,
Let the roots are going.
Well, let's get
But-
back to revisiting, maybe not making it half a tree, but maybe removing a couple of branches that are immediately around.
it's gonna take more than a couple branches though, Joe, is
Which-
what I'm
which
telling you.
corner-
It
which-
is
which corner
buried.
is
I
this?
mean, it's this far off of the center trunk.
Well,
we
this
have a root
was
problem,
the
too?
brilliance of
It could
putting,
potentially be.
What corner is this?
Crooked
Crooked
Creek.
Creek and Pebblebrook.
I'd be more concerned about root issues too.
Yeah.
Somebody's gotta,
Can I say something?
sure, go ahead.
look at
The, like you said, the roots are going towards that electrical outlet too.
I know.
There's a electrical transformer box
Right,
right
so
there.
that's gonna, eventually, that's gonna cause a problem.
You know, unfortunately, what happened is that they put the poles in, and then they put the sidewalks in, and they planted trees. And they planted the trees around the poles, which was,
Makes no sense
I
at
know,
all.
I know.
Is this the only one we have a problem with, though?
That-
No, it's not, but this is the one of the most.
It's a major one,
Yeah, 'cause like-
because you really can't prune that tree to give you good light.
Are there other trees there that would grow to fill in a little bit if we took that tree down?
Yeah, apple palm trees.
Yeah,
The palm trees.
possibly.
Maybe that's the way to go then, just take that
Okay, you want me
tree
to
down.
just kind of plan on taking that tree
I
out?
think that's a good idea. Would you
Okay.
agree?
I kind of thought so,
Well,
but.
I wouldn't mind
you
taking
know,
a look at it, but
I have.
You take
and
a look at
I
it.
think,
and
I know, you know
let
what,
me know.
I can picture, because there's another one on Pebblebrook that's further down, close to the
Yeah,
clubhouse
but it's
that
not
needs
as
to be trimmed.
buried as the one on
No.
Crooked Creek. I think
That's the one
on
that we
Crook-
were always thinking about moving, which it's harder to move than to
Yeah,
take down.
Believe it or not.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I got it.
Let's take, I'll make a motion to,
Oh, we don't,
Do we need to
I
take
think we
the-
just tell her to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in the budget
that's
already,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Okay, I think that works.
but what, are we gonna have issues with that house with the light shining in the second
Only a
story?
little window.
Huh?
It's only a little window.
Little window,
What's his
and,
bathroom window, probably?
yeah, and it's probably not clear anyway, but also there are a couple other trees there that could possibly grow and fill in some of that gap.
and I
If
do
there's-
see some, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, if there's palm trees already, could we just add 2 more palm trees and?
There's an
A
option.
sable palm behind it?
There's an option. Maybe
That's
take the oak tree out and maybe put in 1 or 2 sable palms
At
and,
least you're
you know.
kind of balancing it
That would be in a
out.
position that will not interfere with the light in the future.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
good.
put them
That's a
in
good
so
thing
they
to look
don't
at.
interfere with the light.
I'm okay with that, and we got the money to do it,
Okay,
so.
We
it's
trust
approved.
you. We trust you.
Look at palms.
That's gonna brighten that anyway.
And I'm
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
agree.
put that
Needed
as
it,
my
though.
note to do that. But with these that I have noted here, we're right about $7,500, so there is plenty of room in the budget to do some more. And Kathy and I had spoken too about maybe going out and looking to see where we could plug in some red tie plant. It's a colorful plant that
Okay.
would just add a little pop of color here or there.
Was this a low grower?
No, it's no, not really a low grower. It would go back more to tie in with your hedge a little bit here and there.
Whereabouts you thinking about?
Green bush.
No, it's red.
I mean, the flowers are red or the bushes?
No, it's, the whole plant is red.
Oh, okay, never mind, I have a different plant.
Yeah,
That
it's-
sounds interesting, and you've seen it?
There's one in my
Yeah.
mind.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that, if
And
everybody
again,
else
you know,
is.
I'll come to you guys with a full-on proposal when I get all of this together.
That sounds
I
fine.
just kinda wanted you to have this so you could look over it.
We
And
want to get it in while there's still wet season left to keep it.
Kind of recommendation, if you
Yeah.
got something that you wanna change, we're, you know, it's nothing is
everybody
set in
hear that?
stone.
Yeah,
Angela, you heard that?
sounds
Yes.
good.
Okay. Now, a question I have, I know that Kathy had mentioned to me about you wanted to pop a couple of palm trees in up where the other trees
Yeah,
fell.
those are right here on the top.
Those are them, that's what I wanted to make sure. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, and
Is
that's
that
fine with
okay?
me, and I think this, as we, if you know, at our end of the community, there are no palm trees up there.
Correct, and we were looking,
It's-
you know, we
They
thought
ran out that
about,
time, but
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, we lost some black olives up there. And I've been trying to not replant a lot
Yeah.
of black olives because we saw
that's
how
the-
well they did not hold up.
Plus also, they make a mess of the sidewalks too.
And they do make a mess of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And we did look at other palm trees, but because there really isn't any other palm trees that we could match along the boulevard there, we kind of,
I know, single palms aren't my top tree choice, but nevertheless.
they were
it's-
not Kathy's top
Yeah, but that's
choice
what's
either.
there.
But after we went up and down that road several times, and it's just like, you know, if you just stuck one in here, it would be like Mr.
Something.
Homeowner bought a tree and decided to stick it out in the landscape for you somewhere, you know, it just would not, it would be out of place.
Understood.
So that's why we went with that, so we could kind of tie it in with the rest of what you had on Pebblebrook out there. But with a lot of these replacements here that we're looking at, we are adding a lot more color. to
There
your
was
street.
something else that just came to mind. Every now and then I bring this up, and we're at that point again. The shrubs by the Stoneybrook sign out front, at nighttime, the guys, when they're trimming it during the daytime. They don't realize what they're doing. If they let
So
it get a little too high, those are
Still
lights.
blocking the light.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Because I
like in a
did ask
shade
him
right
to go
now.
back down there
Yeah.
and trim that down, or trim it in tier
I know, Tier.
stage.
I was even thinking, is there something we can do with those light fixtures or bring them up a foot or two or something like that?
That's not a bad idea.
We've talked about changing those things out and putting LEDs, which is an easy project to do. Because right now, they're on,
Still got the big
Halogens.
old, ugly, expensive bulbs, I know. I'm fine with that. I don't know if you
Okay.
want to look into that even, to get a little bit higher off the ground so we don't have that shading problem and probably be less expensive to maintain, less electricity.
Possibly. We can look,
Okay.
I'll be happy to bring that up to Mike for you.
I appreciate that. Anybody else have any questions for El? You guys?
I
good down
do
there?
have a question.
Go
I
ahead.
see a lot of growth on the Bluestone Lake. Looks like there's a lot of stuff growing around the banks, like,
What you're seeing is hydrilla,
okay,
and I have
Is that gonna
alerted, huh?
is that gonna keep growing?
Well, it will until, except that like I said, I have alerted the contractor, actually, I had them out there today.
Okay,
And they need to, I let them know that they need to get in there and treat that like ASAP.
Yeah.
It wasn't only in the Bluestone Lake. There was another one,
I know.
Lake
the-
58, the big
Okay.
pond, the big one.
the long
Well,
one?
yes.
On 82.
Yes.
Yeah, that always
one.
has a problem on that backside.
Um,
Tends to grow.
What causes that?
Hydrilla?
Yeah, it's a
Nothing
weed.
causes it. I mean, it's spread mainly right now by nature. It was
Rainy season's
introduced
first.
by humans initially. I mean, it wouldn't, not anybody here in Gateway, that's not what I'm saying, but they estimate there's probably 1 million acres of hydrilla in the state of Florida, and that is the most, more money is spent by the state to control hydrilla than any other invasive species.
No kidding.
So how do they control it? They use
They spray it.
a poison?
Chemical,
So what's in,
herbicides.
so it's gonna go in the lake and kill all the fish and
No, it
everything?
does not. No, they are only allowed to use products that are designed specifically for aquatic areas.
Okay.
Anywhere that holds water. Even a wetland is considered an aquatic area.
Okay.
So they can only use products that are specially formulated to do that in. And we are testing a new product, and I talked to him today about maybe coming in with this new product to treat the hydrilla, which it kills it in a different way. It's also a systemic, but rather than drawing it all the way down to the roots and then you wait for the plant to die and deteriorate the plant, actually the cells explode, so it fractures the plant. And I think we're getting a better kill with that in other areas, so we're looking to do that in Stoneybrook as well.
Fascinating.
We're cutting it close on time because we have another meeting over the clubhouse, but I
Sorry.
thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Is there a chance you could send Chris, ask him to stop by real quick? I have a couple quick
I don't
updates.
think Chris is here.
He's not here. He's went to Lehigh.
He had a meeting off-site.
Oh, poo.
I'm sorry.
I
Mike
didn't
is
know
here.
that because, do you have, yeah, I don't know if Mike had the answer though. Do you have any knowledge of where they stand with the flowway or that trench across the FPL property through which all our water flows?
I do know that there's a wetland crew coming in this week, just to kill what you see there in the top.
This isn't that trench across the FPL property?
Oh, no, I'm thinking of the other side.
No.
From Gateway, west of Gateway Boulevard,
Okay.
which is also part of the Stony Brook.
There's supposed to be
Flowway.
work to dredge that
Yeah,
out.
they are, I do know that there is a plan. I cannot give you any particulars of who, when it's gonna happen, but there are some plans of coming in and.
Is there a chance that Diane in her position may have gotten the gist of what's going on? Maybe we can ask her. Would she have any knowledge?
I can ask her.
All right, or
but-
Mike.
Okay.
That was one of
Yes.
my goals, to get an answer on that. So we have a meeting on Monday. I want to be able to bring that information back to the. to the
Understood.
board
I will go
meeting.
ask them if either one of them can come in and
I
help you out
appreciate
with
that.
that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If I'd known, I would have got Chris,
Can you just call him directly?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Tomorrow?
you.
Bye-bye, Al.
Thank you.
take care.
Thanks, Al.
I could, but I'd like to get it on the minutes.
Oh, gotcha,
You know, but that's obviously not going to happen.
gotcha.
Is it beer 30?
It is.
I missed some of your questions, so was there anything there that I missed that I could help you with?
Mostly comments.
Oh, how wonderful you are, what a great job we're doing.
You know, I wouldn't bring that up.
We don't want those on the minutes.
Let's see if
Yeah,
anybody
that
comes
whole
in.
Pelican Preserve not paying their fair share.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I said enough on that. Trust me, that's an old subject, an old sore point. It really is.
everybody knew there was a water leak today.
Yeah, well, certainly Gemstone knew it. No?
I'm sorry, that information would need to come from Chris. He's handling that.
All right, I'll try to get a hold of him probably, and by the end of the week, I'll talk to
We're
him.
gonna see him Monday.
Gotcha.
We're gonna see Chris Monday?
Yeah. He's gonna be at the board meeting Monday night.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
I didn't know that, so
It'll be
he's
in
on
those
the
minutes.
agenda,
You
so
can
we'll
ask
get
questions
the, there you go.
Send him a note and tell him we're
All
gonna
right,
ask him that.
so, any more comments from the
Send him a
audience
note and tell
there?
him we're gonna ask him that question. So he'll
Everybody
come
says.
with an answer.
Yeah, he probably does. So, but any comments, what's that? Yeah. Any comments from the gang here?
No,
All right, the next meeting would be in August, which is 8th? Is that okay? August 8th, it's the second Wednesday, unless otherwise, that will be our next meeting.
And the
Everybody
time is the
okay?
same?
Yeah, always 3 o'clock. I explored other times and it didn't go anywhere.
It's fine.
I'm looking for a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Okay, that was JT made the motion.
Second.
And this time I'm gonna give it to Angela. All right? Well, she beat you, she
Always
beat you.
gets it.
What's that?
Nick always
I
gets
know, I
it.
know.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's
People
good.
have certain seats,
Hey,
people like
You
certain
beat him to it,
seconds.
you beat him to it, you were on top.
He's just so anxious to get
All
out.
right, thanks everybody for coming.
Gotta be
all right,
quick.
Joe.
Oh, my goodness.
What's like that?
Oh, my legs got stiff.
I'll go home first.
We got a meeting at 4:30 meeting at the clubhouse right now with our management.
Sorry.
About 5 o'clock.
There's in my imagination, does it seem like everything has moved down this way or something? I don't remember it being quite this tight, but. Guys, take care. See you later.
Okay, so, my stuff, glasses, brain, cell phone, oh my goodness. Well, you guys have a great day.
You too.
Yeah, on Gemstone, I keep, before Scott left, it was a big joke. I said, well, when are we gonna change the stop signs that are all faded? He goes, oh, we're doing Gemstone last. And I'm like, oh, it's gotta be because it's still faded.
Oh, Stone Valley Lucas done last.
Didn't they order signs, but the wrong signs came in?
Oh, yeah, it was a nice.
Wrong
Well, that was the
Stop
streets,
signs.
I thought that was the streets, I mean, stop signs and these other signs were all basic
I thought
things.
those were stop signs.
Well, remember, the street signs came in too small,
Yeah.
like wrong size. The stop signs, I can't remember exactly what,
There was
but Mike
something
knows the whole
about it.
story.
Yeah.
And the story just got longer and longer. I mean, I was like in shock. I'm like, you
Well,
gotta.
we should have, we still need something on.
Gotta have at least one backup. Maybe that should be brought up when you pull up your 39 sign. Yeah. But I mean, like, bring up, you need to have at least one backup.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they're kicking us out, so we can't stack them more, but nobody paid for that. Oh, you're easy, these guys are hard. Yes, we're gonna go home, and then I'm gonna pick up George, and then we'll go brewery for beer.